Leo.
Hello Leo, and this is your April forecast for 2013. And I think a lot of you are perhaps feeling really happy to be out of March. It has been a very emotional time for you because that stellium that we were talking about last month was moving through your 8th house, okay? It is love and romance. It's the 8th house. It's a Scorpion house. It's all those emotions very intensely and deeply felt way into the core of your being. So you can't say that you haven't felt alive because, boy, you have been. You've been on fire. But now it's a different fire taking place now as these planets are moving into Aries. Out of the 8th house, it was kind of like karmic issues coming up, past stuff that really bothered you, issues that made you feel uncomfortable, and really looking at where you didn't want to go again. And good for you, a lot of you have stood your grounds. Now it's all about, when it moves into the 9th house, it's about where you want to head. You know, those higher aspirations, those things that you believe in, that you can be accountable for. Which is actually bringing in this rebirthing aspect, because the 8th house is death and rebirth. So your Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, and Neptune all went through this death and rebirth, okay, in March. Some of you felt it already in February. So in this rebirthing and moving into the 9th house, which is ruled by Jupiter, there's this sensation of joy and expansion and seeing the light again and being really hopeful and joyful and feeling on top of the world, that nothing is impossible. Why? Because you survived March. Okay, and if you could get through that, there's that part of your spirit right now that says you can survive anything. Oh, and by the way, excuse me if my eye freaks you out. I don't know if it's showing on the camera, but I was redoing my makeup and I poked my eye, so I'm bleeding here on the inside of this side, but that's okay, doesn't hurt. Just wanted to let you know what that was all about. Okay, so let's take a look at this 9th house. What is going on with you? The Sun, Venus, and Mars is in Aries. They have all passed through Uranus, okay? Uranus is 8 degrees there in your 9th house. And so they have all passed here at the end of March, and this allowed you to go through certain shock factors. Good shocks, of course. Some of them could have been bad shocks too. Uranus always brings that element of the unknown and the unpredictable, and it can as easily go this way as that way. It can throw things into your life as it can yank things out of your life. So, you know, talk about merry-go-round, but I guess this emotional merry-go-round is there for a reason. You really get to feel and get in touch with who you are at the very core, figuring out by feeling, because, you know, it's been through Pisces, which is emotional and sensitive, so it gave you the feeling of what you really want and what you don't. And you're out of that Scorpion house too. So now the sense of renewal, this Jupiter feeling that you can add to the flavor of Sun, Venus, and Mars is absolutely beautiful. And especially also because we have the new moon there. And that will be on the 10th, April 10th. Really a great time to plant your mustard seed that can grow into this huge tree by the end of the month, but also for the rest of the year. As far as your direction, where are you heading? Which coastline are you wanting to land on? It's like you're out in this boat, you're an explorer. Do you want to come in on that beach, this beach, or that beach over there? It's like it's your choice right now, Leo, to actually stake the course and the direction that you see yourself, not just in the short term. Be careful to not just think short term, because these planets are moving relatively quickly here throughout a month or so before it's going to end up in your career house. So I'm saying this is probably a great time for you to prepare. Where do you see yourself as far as career? Because when we come into May, this is when it's really going to start flowering, okay, next month. So anything you do right now is preparing you to take the right and appropriate steps to figure in what Venus wants. Venus is money, okay? So you might be thinking about money. How much do I want to earn by the end of the month or the end of the year? Take stake on that. Mars is there and also preparing to move into that 10th house of career. Mars is your drive and your goals and your ambitions and so forth. Take stake on that. Where do you want to be in the long run? That's moving into your career house next month too. So right now it's all about research, research, and more research. The more you can do here in April, the better it's going to look for you. And the more you can harvest here by the end of April, coming into and going through May, which we'll talk about next month. Now also I'll say that probably even before that you're going to feel it though, because Venus, your money planet and your love planet, is going to move into your career house on the 14th, April 14th. And Mars will be following in on April 20th, okay? So it doesn't give you that much time in April, but for those of you listening to this forecast here on the March end, gives you even more time to prepare, okay? So start now as soon as you hear this to prepare those visions so that by the 14th and the 20th of April, you'll be ready to actually start seeing things being launched in your area of career. And I know how important it is for you Leos. You know, you have such a great heart and you're so warm, giving and considerate to everybody else. But now it's all about you, okay? Now what you're going to be experiencing here mid-April and into May, you won't have this, at least as far as Mars goes, drive and ambition, you won't have this period again for another 2 years, okay? So make the most out of it. And then of course you want it to be fun, you want it to be great because Venus is there too, so it's important that you love what you do. So whatever contracts or arrangements that's going to take place in your career, make sure you love it. Don't do it just for the paycheck at the end of the month, because later on you can end up hating it, okay? So don't do it just for money. What you're planning on now starting, have your heart in it, and you know how you Leos rule the heart. Then you have it cut out for years to come. Just a little piece of advice there. And then towards the end of the month, great time because we have Mercury and Jupiter in good talks there on the 23rd. And this really works for you because that Mercury here will be in touch with Jupiter in the 11th house. So somehow, somewhere, there's a benefactor for you in some kind of group or organization or somebody there that will be Jupiterian and help you get through the new door, okay? That will lead you over the threshold into the new that you will be working with. This person is very, very good for you, very generous, very understanding, and has the ability to visualize and hold the vision that you're trying to bring out. Okay, so you'll have that to support you. Mercury's been retrograde for a while, and by March 17th, if you're listening to this early on here, it will then have started to move direct again, picking up speed. It's been lagging there, delayed. Why? Because it's still that 8th house, you know, and in Pisces, Scorpio flavored, because Scorpio rules the house. So anything that has had to do with spirit and love and emotions, deeply felt, raw emotions, have needed that time to go back and rethink, reevaluate, renegotiate anything that didn't feel right, kind of just weeding out those roots that you no longer want. And then it's going to start picking up speed. So from whatever has felt difficult will start behooving you and will be on your side as far as communication and feeling that finally you're going to be understood. It's like whatever you've been trying to express hasn't fully been understood from whatever partner or partners. But suddenly now they're going to turn around and say, hey, listen, you know, you were right. They'll see your point of view from that point on. And then it looks like you're both going to be kind of picking up traction moving forward. That is, which has anything to do with relationships. Now, as far as other people's money, you know, if you've been trying to find a loan or a mortgage or something, same thing applies to that. It is the 8th house of other people's money too. So you could have found that that has perhaps been a little difficult, but that will also start picking up for you after the 17th. So then we have the full moon here, 25th. And it's not just a full moon, it is an eclipse. So it's got the power of 3 full moons. It's a super moon there at the end of the month. So be prepared to throw things out emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically too. Eclipse them out of your life here by the end of the month. It's good to be aware and make those choices yourself, so you're a little bit in control what needs to go. If you're not aware, things are going to go anyway, and you might just be a little shocked that, hey, what's happening? Things are leaving my life. Okay, so be a little ahead of the game here. And it'll give you a little clue and insight, because leading up to this eclipse on the 25th, on the 23rd and 24th, there is a passionate energy, Venus, Pluto, so it kind of ties in with love relationships, your emotional self, the intensity of how you feel and what you want to feel and what you no longer do want to feel. This is going to come to the forefront because some of this ties in with Chiron, meaning that there's been issues in your life that you no longer want to reconnect with, things that trigger you perhaps. Chiron is the wounded dog, it's carrying around emotional scars. And it also allows people to put up guards. And yes, automatically and subconsciously, when you've been hurt, guards do come up, but it doesn't behoove you. Who's going to lose out? You're protecting yourself from out there, but who's losing out? You are. Don't have guards, okay? They protected you for the time you needed it, but let those guards come down again so you can be pure of heart. Remember, Leo, you are heart ruled, and so it's like in order for you to feel deeply and passionately and truly of either some person, project, whatever the deal is, you want to be open-hearted. So I think this is what's going to be eclipsed on the 25th, which will behoove you the most, because as you are open-hearted, you can take in life brand new, okay, with the innocence of you had before you were hurt. Like a 14, 16-year-old, not knowing too much about life and passion, you'll be able to absorb, feel, and develop these raw, beautiful feelings. You can't do that if your guard is up, so make sure that something of that nature can be eclipsed out, 25th. So I wish you a good month. This is going to be exciting for you. You're all preparing for your 10th house career field, so it's like whatever research you're doing, like I said, is going to behoove you here for the end of April coming into May. Very exciting month for you that we'll be speaking about next time, and I wish you the best. So also listen to your moon sign and your rising sign and your partners too, so you know what's going on with him and her. See you next time. Bye now.